Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay, we're just playing around here. Got my bowl out. My bowl. So this is 432 hertz sound bowl with the Seed of Life geometrical pattern on the front of it. And my dog, my Yoda, my sweet puppy Dokes, that's a good boy. He knows I got my mallet in my hand. He's like, oh my God, are you going to make the noises? Oh man. You ready? You want to plug your ears? Vicious savage. Okay. You ready? Here it comes. Yeah, he's not enthused. Gently do it so he doesn't get too loud for him. Let's gently do it. Gently. There, see? Was that so bad? He's like, not really, it wasn't. Can I do it again? I'm gonna do it 3 times and then we'll start the video. Or I'll start rambling. You ready? Here it comes. What do you think? Oh, that one wasn't so bad. He's like, ooh, I think I want to get closer. Let's do this one a little more intense. A little intense. Little intense. A little bit more. He did not run away. This is a good thing. What do you think? He's like, I think I want to be online. I think I want to snuggle. Okay. So, that was the 432 hertz. Here's the Vicious Savage. Safe and sound. So today, I just wanted to give you a little snippety snappity of some sound healing. Let that settle in your system. See how it feels. Go back, crank it. I tried to do it like soft, medium, intense, if you will, so you can kind of get a notion. Because sometimes when you haven't been exposed to too much sound healing, it's wonky. And again, I don't know how YouTube records, so whatever hertz they're using is going to affect your sound on your end. So I'm not sure how that works quite yet. So this is a deep rabbit hole that I'm having to go down right now, but that's supposed to be similar to what modality of life? Not the God one. The God hertz is 528. The pain relief is 128. See, I know all of a lot of them, but not really the 420. 420 is what resonates with the human form the most effective. But I think it's just for opening up. I think that's why they put the seed on there, because it's meant to get you into your body so you can open up to the rest of everything. So again, I have a whole thing of like sound sticks behind me, or forks or whatever. Yeah. It's a lot to learn in a tiny amount of time. And right now I'm still reading the encyclopedia of energy and how it works and resonates and meridians and all that other good stuff. So, and I'm in the process of memorizing the bottom of the feet for reflexology. So it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take on. But I thought I'd just because I'm still practicing with my bowl, I'm trying to get a sense for how things are moving and shaking within the body and how it affects everyone around you. So We're just gently, I mean, I've done the forks on Yoda here, and he doesn't seem to mind them. He actually, it's like, hey, could we do that one again? Because I really like that one. That one was really nice. Give me one of, I don't like that one. I don't want that one. But that other one's really, he likes the yellow one, which is the 417. So he seems to like that, which helps with bellies. Yeah. Right, Bisky. So that's our little routine. But today we're going to talk about like resonance. So there's like an epidemic of loneliness happening on both sides of the aisle. I have my opinions on it, but I am going to say this. In December, I am on the we're not buying anything extra. I'm not having family over. I'm not cooking. I'm not going to anything. I'm not buying gifts for anybody. This is like a full withdrawal. I already don't have a romantic partner interest, nor do I care to get one. So I wouldn't say I'm anti-dude. I'm just anti-man at the moment. I don't want to get involved because it's just, no. I'm fine in my little hermit, lovely little cave I have going. So I'm cool with where I'm at right now. And I'm just going to help support the ladies in any way I can, because we're going to have to pass this on to the youth of the nation. And that's not fair for them. So I'm going to do what little I can in my corner of the universe and protest. So, and the best way to do that is hit the male population where it hurts, and that's the wallet. December 1st rolls around, I'm canceling my Prime account. And yeah, I'm gonna rough it for a hot minute in the middle of winter nonetheless, but that's okay. I have plenty of books to keep me preoccupied. So in the month of December, it's just bare minimum buying the bare minimum for groceries. Only going to places that I absolutely have to, like the pet store or whatever. Paying the bills, doing the basics, all that good stuff, and nothing extra on top of it. Not a dang thing. Not even like if I'm like, ooh, I need to go to the craft store for this. Nope, I'm going to wait till January 1st. That's how this is going to roll. The American economy needs to understand that you give women their rights, or we're going to remove our pentacles from your system. And then you're going to realize how powerful we really are. 70% of all homeowners are women. Can you imagine if we just stopped paying our mortgages? Joe! So, but then they'd punish us. Well, maybe that needs to be addressed too. So, ooh, child. Okay, so anyway, I just sent out something into the universe. I'm not sure it's going to reverberate back. We'll find out. So today I would like to explore things that reverberate towards you in your environment that you might be ignoring. Most likely are, because you're in trauma mode. Trauma brain tends to inhibit reality. And reality is right here in front of us. So reality is what we make it. And so if you are putting yourself in places and around people that are not good for you, that constantly put you in a state of trauma, the great news is you can select other places to go where trauma is not the deal. Trauma isn't the forefront. You can make your home environment something lovely and beautiful. You can take yourself to places like greenhouses and whatnot, or if you can get yourself in nature in any way, shape, or form, you are going to be a better human. Period. The end. I don't care who you are. I don't care what modality you're living in. If you can get yourself around plants and animals out in nature, that's not in a parking lot, off the pavement, in the grass, on the dirt, you're going to be a better human. Period. The end. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm gonna let that sink in. You will be a better human, period, the end, if you can get yourself into nature. If you can bring, and if you can't get yourself out to nature on a regular basis, bring nature to you. See? I'm not in the outdoor woods. I'm in the indoor woods. Okay? So this isn't all my plant life, but you know, I could be addicted to drugs. I could be. But I'm not. Okay? I have plants. Okay? Plants and pets and people and puppy dogs. So this and crystals and singing bowls and tuning forks and books. Okay? So it's not math. See? Okay. So so I also don't have cable. So that's also a thing. Not that I'm not like semi-addicted to YouTube and what's the other thing? I don't really go on that anymore though. It's the old one. It's the old school. Not MySpace. Facebook. I occasionally go on there. So what does it mean? Like what are you talking about the plant status? So roses put out the frequency energy of love. And you can tell if you're receiving and receiving or able to hold the space for love. This little scrumdiddlyumptious will exist in your environment for a long period of time. Yes. Frequency, energy, vibration, boys and girls. If you can get on her frequency, she'll live for you. If you get off her frequency for too long, she's like, I can't exist here. I can't thrive in this environment. Toodaloo. I know, hurts like a bitch. But hey, well, you know, now you can work on it. Now you can do better. Also, there's a lore that we hold in the plant kingdom that rules over all the all the air purifiers in the house, and there's a lot of them. You can look that up on the interwebs. When you bring them into your environment and they croak on you, it typically means there's a lot of people outside that are wishing you ill. So there's a lot of people putting energetic patterns onto you that are not nice. And they're literally taking it off of you and sacrificing themselves so that you can have a better life. So instead of praying to the Jesus, get down on your knees. I'm kidding. I'm joking. It's a joke. Okay, sorry. Not sorry. So that's the lore in the plant kingdom. All right, us queens and kings and goddesses and gods and you know, whatever. We rock over here, the little fays and the gnomes and all the garden kingdom creatures. That's our lore. That is our lore. Any plants that are taking a hit are because people are sending their pain your way because they're so overloaded with their own, they can't deal with it anymore. So they people tend to think that like your cup dries up if you how do you put it? Oh. Pardon my lavender latte, buddy. If you're walking around with a bunch of hatred and ignorance and whatever else, people tend to think that your cup dries up. No, your cup still overflows, boys and girls. Your cup is still flowing. Your cup doesn't stop flowing. Your heart doesn't stop pumping or beating or pulsing just because you're a dick or you're in dick mode or whatever the hell it is. That's not the case. You're just pouring out toxins into the environment and everyone else around you. La 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 la. Cute, huh? Cute. The cup doesn't stop flowing. It never stops. It doesn't get empty. There's no desolate desolateness when it comes to your heart space. It's not desolate. It never becomes desolate. Otherwise you die. It's always pouring out something. Is it black goo or is it life-giving and healing energy? Your pick. Your pick. But it's always overflowing with something. So for those confused about that modality, well, now you're not. So when your cup beeth cleaneth and it has gone through its catharsis, okay, you are able to receive the glimmers instead of the traumas, right? You see the trauma coming, you're like, and it pounces off of you and goes back to the other person. And if you're lucky, you get to watch and laugh. And yes, they want you to do that. They want you to understand. Okay, so when you develop relationships with the other dimensions, there's beings there that I'm not going to give names to because they don't need names. But doesn't matter which dimension it is, lower, higher, middle, whatever it is, they want everyone to understand the logos of the universe. That's the whole reason why we're here, is to understand the logos of the universe. And when you get that ping of like, okay, I'm blocking this, I'm rejecting this is not coming into my environment anymore. When you get that, they want you to go back and watch. They want you to understand how this tings. They want you to. They want you to go back and see. And a lot of times it's tragic and sometimes it's freaking comical. They want you to see it though. They have to understand that you're understanding it. Then they'll want to communicate with you more because you're on board. You get it. You're not walking away from it. And I used to do that. I used to just pull my energy back and be like, okay, you go deal with them. I got better shit to do. And then I'd go fry other fish. And I did not pay attention very well. I did not register appropriately how much the universe really was working in my favor. And when you do that, the universe gets dismayed and it slows down and it says, well, I'm going to try, but like, if you're not going to pay attention, how are you going to know to pick up on those energies? How are you going to know to pick up on that frequency vibration again? If you don't understand how much this matters, how am I going to operate with you? How are we going to speak to each other? How are we going to resonate and communicate? Mercury's in retrograde. La 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 la. Going back, reassessing how you communicate. Okay. How does your environment speak to you? How do you speak to your environment? Because your environment is the universe. And the universe makes up our cells. Do you see how that interconnected tapestry weaves together? Okay, so when you are faced with a situation where you are being maltreated, whatever, I hate using the A word now because everybody's using it. When you are in a maladaptive environment, okay, or somebody's creating a maladaptive environment for you, and you respond appropriately, not with revenge or violence, but with that, okay, this environment is not created for my existence, I'm going to pull back, okay? And you pull back and you realize the significance of that. You realize how much difference it makes, your presence here or there. And if you're here, you've already done the inner work, so you're going to be able to see this, and the universe is going to make sure that you can watch. And the universe is going to do something so drastic to them that they're going to have no choice but to reach out and be like, hey, what is this? What's going on? What did you just do? We didn't do anything. We just withdrew our energy and our protection. That is the power of the feminine. We are the spiritual protectors. We are the energetic goddesses. Okay? You violate that, and there's no one coming to help you. There's no one coming to save you. There's no one, not a dang thing. You are at the mercy of whatever dimensional force decides to step in. And again, a lot of us women, we don't have control over that. We don't have a say. And that's, people talk like this, and it kind of irritates me a little bit when they're like, oh, don't fuck around and find out. No, we want you to fuck around and find out. Absolutely. You gotta spit polish this army right here, right now, because the masculine isn't gonna survive. Okay? So we as feminine, as brutal as it might sound, we have a lot of inner work to do. We have a lot of inner work to do. We have to find all those patterns within ourselves that are rejecting love. Okay? And there's a lot of women out there that have lost their freaking marbles and are rejecting love. And when I say love, I don't mean in the romantic sense. Okay? That's some fairy tale narrative that you don't need to get lost in. Okay? There's no fairy tale. Okay? This is not Fantasyland. Okay? And if you are involved in some sort of regale binding spell, religious narrative, you are in Fantasyland, and you are going to find out in the most brutal, hard way that you possibly can. And the rest of us are just going to have to sit back and freaking witness. Okay? And we're kind of tired of it. We're kind of tired of you selecting your own selves for torture, suffering, and extinction when we have heaven at our feet. We're kind of tired of it. So I am here going to explain to you how the universe actually works, so you stop being in a find out season that's absolutely wretched for you. Okay? So when you are out in nature and you hear the birds singing and the flowers are blooming and the creatures are stirring, notice what those are. Notice what they are. Are there sparrows singing? Are there crows flying about? Are there cardinals? Are there woodpeckers? Is there a squirrel? Is there an orchid blooming by you? Is there a rose bush nearby? Pine trees? Anything. Any kind of like, everything has frequency and energy and vibration, down to the last blade of grass. Everything does. Everything's putting out energy. Particular trees have energy, bushes, every plant, everything that grows has energy. Rocks have energy. They hold the geometric patterns of life. Okay? So you need to understand that when you're operating in that system, you're being affected whether you like it or not. But the problem is when you continuously deny, suppress, and give your vital life force energy somewhere else to the trauma, right? When you operate off the trauma mode and you can't get out of it because you refuse to step beyond that modality of seeing life, you're gonna be interpreting everything as trauma when it's not. This isn't trauma. That's not trauma. This is light. Okay? This isn't trauma. That's not trauma. Oh, sorry, Pisky. I'm sorry, boo. It's alright, love. What it be? Oh, what the hell, mama? Okay. So if you can create that environment for yourself to detoxify yourself from the trauma that you have to put up with in the outside world, and you can also deflect the trauma. Like when someone comes in with trauma, you just ignore it. If you just take your energy and shift it towards something else, even though they might be in your face yelling, just focus on anything else, and they'll continue to lose their shit. Possibly even, whatever. But then you should have gotten yourself out of that situation, irregardless of the repercussions. Okay? Because, yeah, you don't need to be treated like that for any reason, under any circumstances. Okay? This is why women are pulling back, is because our education system has failed them so horrifically. I can't even begin to describe, guys. I can't even begin to describe We're talking about pulling funding from the educational systems. And I'm like, okay, number one, it hasn't been an educational system for a good 20 years now. Number two, the only people getting money from the government are the people on the school boards. Okay. The money laundering in this system is absolutely atrocious. Okay. It's staggering how many people are getting rich off of public school funds that don't even work in the system. They just oversee it. Okay. It's staggering. It's horrific. It's god awful. Okay. And we're about to find that out too. One more thing, there's a tick off the box. So when we're understanding about our environment and how it's actually working, the reality of the environment is the trees, the shrubs, the herbs, the animals, the whatever, okay? That's the reality of the environment. That's the reality we live in. So if we can start interacting with the reality of the situation, which is the earth gives us the food we need, the sun gives us the light, the love we need, and blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying we start a sun worshipping thing. Taking your vessel to war with anything because war shit. Okay? We don't need to be doing that. That's ridiculousness. Okay? You keep your vessel clean and clear. That's all you need to do. So that way your cup doesn't overflow with bullshit. Right? It's a lot, I know. So work on clearing yourself out so you can get in this mode. So roses are love. So if you're having trouble receiving love, aren't we all? Ask it to help you remove the blockages to that. And now we think of love and roses and romance as the only modality for love to exist in the world. Get out of that narrative. That is a fantasy, Disney, propaganda, distraction narrative, okay? Because anybody who's going to buy you roses, it's just one freaking act. It's just one act. It's just a sum of money with some sweet little words attached to it that means little to nothing. This is going to hurt a lot of people. It means little to nothing. On the grand scheme of things, it means little to nothing. How are you showing up for me in the world? How are you and your energetic patterns supporting me? Emotionally, mentally. For some people, it's physically, financially, spiritually, whatever it is. How are you going to add to the system of life? Not just my life, but life in general. Are you adding value to the community? Are you adding value to life in general? If you're not, what are you even doing? Okay, so this is where we need to set a firm foundation for ourselves, an expectation for our own existence. Are we adding or are we subtracting? Are we contributing love? Or are we nullifying it, lying about it, and presenting it as something else? Claiming it's love when it's not. That's why I want to get rid of the L word. I freaking hate it because it feels to me like it's evolution backwards. Because it prevents it. You get wrapped up in this modality that, oh, blah, 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 fairy tale, 10 of cups, bullshit. No, that's not a 10 of cups, okay? The 10 of cups doesn't last for 18 months and then skips town, okay? Which is what love does. Whether it stays or whether it goes, okay? 18 months is about the approximate chemical release time frame that you have in your brain when you fall in love with someone. Really, is that going to be the whole modality of love or how we relate to each other in any way, shape, or form? And again, when you look at the stars and the houses and whatever else, the planetary systems, there's no feminine planet. Lilith is the closest we have, and she's the dark side of the freaking moon. And if you're a man, you don't want to relate to that? Probably not, because you've been told your entire life that feminine is evil. And that the only modality that feminine is allowed to exist in is some sort of free labor market where, you know, you throw pentacles and nice things at the thing, and then sex and housework comes out. Okay, that's the modality that astrology is set up with us. And I have an astrology book here, and I made 2 videos yesterday talking about the houses, going through everything. And I was so livid by the end of it. I just wanted to chuck the book up through the sky and toss it up to the dark planet in the Pleiades and be like, make something of this, because I'm tired of this. Patriarchy is... Ugh. And so it gets... how do you put that? It gets my goat. I have a goat. And it gets my goat. Because all these little girlies are out there. Astrology. I'm a feminist. No. Did you read the astrology? You didn't read the astrology either. Nobody reads the fine print. There's no safe space for feminine energy in astrology either. And if you find in most of the whatchamacallits are like, this is so liberating. It is to a certain extent, but at the same time, there's a cap there. There's a cap on it. Same with tarot, there's a cap on it. Now, there's people that are driving away from the Rider-Waite deck or whatever the hell it is and going, okay, we're full on feminine right now. You can kiss my you know what. But the cap on the astrology is still there, and that's going to have to change too, boys and girls. That's going to need to change. I said what I said. So, again, there's Venus is a business relationships and supposedly romantical ones. You can see how this isn't a good modality to exist off of. If this is the narrative that we're projecting onto. And that's the thing, is it's perception that we've gotten all wrong. So because we're forcing this narrative on this and not looking at it through a clear, concise lens, we're being delusional about it. So it's going to be an interesting 20 years. So anyway, when you are out and about and you hear an animal or you see an animal or you come across a plant that you like, or it's resonating, or something's glowing for you, but however you see the world, right? Look it up. Look up the spiritual meaning of that and realize that you definitely are not alone. There's all these things around you trying to give you life, and you're rejecting it. Stop rejecting it. Be open to the love that's all around you, and put the romantic crap aside. You know, if it's supposed to show up for you, it will, and it will be undeniable. And you won't have to question it. You won't have to be like, well, that hurt my feelings. So do I still stay with this person? The answer is no. The pain is telling you, pay attention and get the fuck away. Okay? Love you. Keep your flame. Mwah.